What's up, YouTube? And you see the title of the video, and you see the picture on the screen. Now, I was gonna do, my last video I said I was gonna do a, give my input, or, give my take on the Jessica X and Chrissy, drama that, happened not too long ago. I was gonna give my input on that, and I still am, but I had to make this video, because and the inspiration for this video is actually a video done by O'Shea Duke Jackson. He makes good content. Uh, I say definitely would say go subscribe to that brother. He makes good content. He's really about and I mean, and if you would consider yourself pro-black, he has a pro-black channel too and all that. So yeah, his content, he makes good content all around. That's a really good brother. You really support his content. But I was watching a video that he uploaded, and at the time of this vid, it was like he uploaded this video like 2 days ago, I believe, and I just now, I guess, got around to it. Just now, saw it in my recommendations, and I'm like, okay, let me hit this up because this is an interesting topic here. The title of the video was, struggle female content creators coming for black men or something, or, struggle female content creators who, keep coming for black men. And, when I saw the title, I'm like, okay, I already know where this is going to go. I clicked on it and I'm like, boom, let's get it. Now, it wasn't just O'Shea in that video. It was, LAR, LAR movement. If any of you know who he is, go check him out. He makes good content too. I watch some of his stuff. Not as much as O'Shea, but I watch his stuff too. I kind of just figured out about him. So yeah, his content's pretty good too. But yeah, he was on there with O'Shea. And they were talking about the subject, and I had to make this video because I actually didn't watch their whole video that they did. I haven't watched the whole thing yet, but it was one part of it that stuck out to me that I was like, okay, I gotta make this video and go ahead and give my 2 cents on this, because when you actually, because I believe it was LAR who said this in the video. I believe it was LAR. He said something on the lines of, these content creators, and we all know who they're talking about, and the women they're talking about, Dusty G, Krusty Chrissy, we could go on and on. I mean, we all know the women, we all know the content creators they're talking about, right? These women that keep coming for black men. Many of them who have just now out of nowhere popped on the scene bashing black men. I'm not going to say any names about those women, but there's women who have just decided to come back to YouTube and all their content is bashing black men. And I'm going to explain all this in a second. So we all know the women are talking about these dusty female content creators. And LAR said, in the video, he was like, if there were no dusty black men, or dusty, dusties and all this, and all the things these women say, if there were none of these guys, these dusties they complain about, they would have no content. And I actually have to disagree with LAR on that, because see, now he probably understand, he probably knows this. I know LAR knows this, but if he doesn't, then maybe this could, I just got to give my like I said, give my 2 cents on this, because you would think that would be right. If there were no dusties, then they wouldn't have content, right? But LAR is wrong on that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because you gotta understand, and And I pretty much said this in my last video, and I say this in a lot of my videos, like, these women just hate black men. And see, this is what it is. Because, see, you gotta understand, when it comes to a woman, like, let's just use one of these content creators, for example. Dusty G, right? So when we're talking about a Dusty G, who all she does on her channel, right, is bash black men, say black men are dusty, say they're just anything to bash all black. It's basically all she does is bash all black men, bash them, call them dusty. Every time a black man dates out, oh, he hates himself. Oh, he wants to be the white man. I mean, this is the dumb shit that this broad says, right? And when I'm saying Dusty G, obviously, I'm talking about Cynthia G, but I'm calling her Dusty G because he's dusty. So when we're talking about Dusty G, right? And, all our content revolves around the most repetitive shit. And I've said this in my past videos, but I'm using her as an example because she's the greatest example I can use. Actually, there's another one I can use too, but I'm not even going to talk about her in this video. But yeah, I just want to use her because this is the greatest example to explain this. And even when I'm talking about the women who watch her, because it's we're going to decode all this. We're going to break all this down. So like I said, with a Dusty G, right, and all she does on her content is bash black men, call them dusty, call them conquered. The black man this, the black man that. Oh, he's dusty. Oh, when he dates out, he hates himself. Oh, we gotta keep bashing black men when they date out. Oh, they're nesters. Oh, this, that. I mean, if you watch any of your videos, you hear this dumb shit. You hear this rhetoric. You hear this retardation. And we're not even gonna sugarcoat this. This is what it is. Because, see, what you gotta understand is the reason I call it retardation is because on face value, when you watch your content, for somebody who watch watch a couple of videos, you'll just be like, okay, she's complaining about this shit, whatever. But when you see the consistency in the black male bashing about the same shit over and over and over, you have to question one's sanity. And this doesn't just go for Cynthia G, but this goes for all these women. You have to question, because all these women, you can pinpoint something is off in their content and something is not right. Like I said, Cynthia G is the perfect example for this. Well, like I said, there's other women, but we're just going to use her for this example. She's the example we're going to use for this video. And I might use somebody else, but, we're going to stick with Cynthia G. So, Dusty G. When we're talking about her, right, like I said, constantly bashing black men. I mean, if you were to go on her channel right now, I ain't watched one of her videos and I don't know how long, but if you were to go on her channel right now, I guarantee you all it is her talking about black men dating out, bashing black men about a community she really doesn't actually care about. And the reality is, none of these bras, when they complain about the black community, they don't care. Because, I might have to make a separate video on this, but it is very ineffective to just keep talking about bashing black men and complaining about them dating out. I mean, that doesn't sound like you actually care about no black community and building all this. These broads are very disingenuous when they talking. Oh, I'm sorry, but only idiots will watch this and be like, yeah, man, she really care about the black community, man. Yeah, man, especially you black men who agree with her. I mean, you black men are dumb. I said this in my last video, but it's like, you black men are so dumb. For the ones who find themselves in these spaces with these broads, agreeing with their content, agreeing with their sentiments, and you call yourself pro-black and you watch these broads, you're dumb. You black men are dumb. And it's just nowhere around this shit. Y'all dumb. You niggas are dumb. So, along with these broads y'all watch, y'all as dumb as the Dusty G's. I mean, yeah, they are dumb too. These black women are dumb with a song that watch these, these black women that watch these dusty broads. They're dumb. You black men that watch them, y'all dumb. Y'all dumb. You niggas are dumb. So, but besides all that, like I said, if you were to go on her channel right now, you're going to see the same shit. Bashing black men for dating out. Complaining about a community that she really doesn't care about. trying to do anything to show a white woman saying she doesn't like black men, as if that's supposed to mean anything. But see, these broads, see, they're down terrible. See, you got to understand these women like Dusty G's. They're down terrible. I mean, when you resort to having to go and try to find white women saying they don't like black men to try to, what is that proving exactly? Like, what exactly is this proving? I mean, I could go find some brads to say they don't like, you know, to say they don't like black women, but we're not even gonna do that because, see, I'm not even about to do all. I'm not even about to do all that. I can easily find these. I mean, I've seen these videos, and I was even thinking about making a video on it of some brads who were saying, "Yeah, we don't really like black women." But see, I'm not about to do that because see what a Dusty G will do is she will take one white woman saying she doesn't like black men and make it absolute. I was literally thinking, let me go and get this video that I have of this white dude saying he don't like black women, and let me make it an absolute. But see, I'm not dumb like these bros. These niggas are dumb, so I can't. My intellect will not allow me to stoop down to such a dumbass level. Even if I were to make that video, I would have made disclaimers because I can't just be disingenuous and just be stupid like them. I'm sorry. It's not in me. I mean, I know them niggas, they're dumb. They lack understanding. They're dumb niggas. But I can't stoop down to that level. So I was like, fuck it, I'm not making this video. But, yeah, that's what a Cynthia G would do. She will find, just look for negativity to bash black men on. She has subscribers who send her in things to bash black men on. She looks for this shit. She looks for white women saying they don't like black men, as if this is supposed to mean anything to anybody who actually doesn't give a fuck like me. Like, I'm supposed to care what a white woman thinks. No, I really could give two fucks. But see, these are what these broads do. These are what these broads do. They think they're triggering somebody. They think somebody is mad. But see, what they find is the thing that I mostly look at with this, and why I actually am even, when I talk about these certain things, it's not because I'm triggered or mad, like these bros will want you to believe, but it's because I'm very disturbed and concerned. Because these bros are mentally ill. There's no way around this. They're mentally ill, and I honestly think a lot of these bras need to be put in mental institutions, man. Because I would say medication, but hell, I don't even know if that's gonna work for them. They're something is. It's just not. They're fucked up. They they're they're messed up, man. Okay, they're messed up. Something is not right. I don't even think medication will help some of these broads. They need to be put in mental institutions because something is not clicking all the way. The spark plugs are not firing, and they need to get repaired. And so, like I said, with Cynthia G and her content and the stupidity of it, you sit back and have to question, right? Because what she does is she bashes black men for dating out. And like I said, I'm gonna get to LAR with him saying, if there was no Dusties, would they have content? And I'm gonna get on that more. But I wanna just go ahead and roll this up here. Just roll the car up some more to this stoplight. When you have somebody like a Dusty G who makes her content bashing black men constantly about dating out, the inconsistency that you will find is, okay, well, a black man will get bashed for dating out. But see, when it's a black woman, she doesn't keep that same energy. She'll give excuses for the black woman. She doesn't say, oh, she hates herself. All the things she wants to say. Oh, when a black man dates, how he hates himself. Oh, he wants to be the white man. So the same thing is not flipped on the black woman. It's not, oh, she hates herself. Oh, she wants to be the white woman. And see, we're not even gonna get on that because the reality is the reason a lot of these bras like Cynthia G, like they keep saying black men dating out hate themselves and want to be the white man and all this is because these broads want to be the white woman. They hate themselves and they are projecting this onto black men. I made a video about the self-projection of these women, but this is what these bras do. So they're just, I don't even take them serious because I already know they're self-projecting. And it's evident they self-project is because, like I said, you're bashing black men for dating out, but then you don't keep the same energy with black women. And you have to sit back and really think about that, because how are you bashing black men for doing this, but black women get a pass? Now, if I bring the same talking points you use for black women with a black man, and we say, oh, he not hating himself and all this, if we were to take away all these things about him hating himself and all this other crap you say, they would still find something to bash him about him dating. Now, it's not even, it's always going to be an issue. They're never going to be like, oh, I'm happy for him. And see, this is what you really need to focus on with these women. Why will they never be happy when a black man dates out, but then give a pass when a black woman dates out? And you really need to focus on this dynamic, because this shows you what this is really all about. No matter what, they're going to find something to bash the black men on. And this is when I'm going to come back to LAR's point in that video with O'Shea, when they were talking about, these female content creators coming from black men. And he was talking about if there were no Dusties, they wouldn't have any content. But see, I have to disagree with LAR on that. They would have content. They will, all they're going to do is just manufacture some dusty behavior. See, all they're gonna do is find it. In the Bible, I'm a follower of the word of the Bible, and in the Bible, it says, you seek and you shall find. And see, this is what these women will do. They will seek out dysfunction, and they will indeed find it. If I were to be like these women, right, and just look for negative things to talk about black women on all day, like, let's just use a YouTuber, for example, who a lot of people would deem who does that. Tommy Sotomayor, who a lot of people might say who looks for stuff about black women that are negative, and he makes videos on it. If I were to be like that, it would be easy for me to do it. It's easy to find dysfunction. I mean, especially with you niggas. So I could easily find dysfunction with black women daily and just make a whole channel out of it, bashing black women constantly. But see, I'm not about to do that, because that's very dumb. But see, these women don't mind being dumb, because, well, they're dumb. They're mentally ill. They're mentally ill. Like I said. So you have a Cynthia G, or Dusty G, as I will say, who, like I said, very disingenuous, hypocritical, and that's why I say these women, the hypocrisy with these women is just so evident. They're so dumb, they can't even try to hide their hypocrisy. They just leave it out in the open, and they're just like, yeah, here's my exposed hypocrisy, and there's no way around it. You really easily can just break this stuff down, and there's really nothing they can say. Now, what they'll do is, let's say if I were to really get on like a phone call or something and talk with Dusty G, I would destroy all her talking points to a degree where she would have to insult me. Because see, what dumb niggas do once all else fails is just insult you. Probably call me gay. I mean, y'all know these broads, with this Kevin Samuels piece, all these women calling Kevin Samuels gay. So if all else fails, just call me gay, right? He's gay. So they're not going to be able to intellectually have a debate without getting emotional and going to the ad hominem attacks, because there's really nothing else they can do. They can't actually go at the talking points that you will present. They're just going to emotionally attack you. And like I said, when we're talking about a woman like a Dusty G, who all she can do is bash black men about dating out, not keeping that same energy for black men. Like I said, if you were to break down all the points that she says about them hating themselves and all, if we were to take all that away, and he's with a white woman, right? And he doesn't hate himself and all this. If we were to just take all that off the table, they would still find something to bash black men on. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what stat. And even when we're talking about the stats, them saying black men are dusty, we've already debunked all that shit. We have the stats to prove that black men are not just out here dusty. But see, you cannot bring stats to dumb niggas. You see, women like a Dusty G, a dumb nigga like that, you cannot present statistics and facts to them. Because what they're going to do is one of two things. They're going to either, one, just ignore the statistics because they're just dumb. Or two, they're going to try to find a way to go around the statistics and try to disprove it, no matter what source you bring, and no matter how much you show that it is indeed a credible source, they're not gonna acknowledge it. They're gonna find a way to go around it. So, like I said, no matter what, these women will indeed bash black men. No matter what, they will find something to bash them on. So when LAR said in that video that, if there was no Dusties, they wouldn't have any content. No, they will. They will have content. They will indeed manufacture the dysfunction. They will look for the dysfunction the best they can, and they will continue to make it. Because at the end of the day, these women just hate black men. And this is just what it is. And, these women have a serious issue. A lot of these women, things in their own personal lives that they have now projected onto the world, i.e. all black men, hashtag blame black men. So they're bashing all black men for their problems. And they use this smoke screen of, like the Dusty G's will do, complaining about the black community. Like I said, none of these broads actually care about the black community. And it's evident in their content. If you cared about the black community, you would not be making the content you're making. Like I said, it's all bullshit. I'm going to make a video about how to, these women actually don't care about the community. And I made a video about that on my channel, some time ago about, these women who complain about, the black community and building and all that. I'm gonna make another video about, these women complaining about the black community. They don't actually care about it. They don't. Yeah, these women don't care about the black community. So when we're talking about a Dusty G who tries to make these, and women who are like her, and, women who watch your channel, who use the smoke screen trying to complain about the black community, which these women don't care about. This is all about their own lives. These women are selfish. I know these niggas, man. They don't care about none of it because the content doesn't make sense. If you actually cared about the black community and unity, you would not be making the content you're making. A lot of this is just about money. It's about bitterness, hatred. And then we're going to get to this next point. Because like I said, you see the picture on the screen. A lot of this is a drug. They may be like, what are you talking about? Good question. This is a drug for a lot of these women. You see, a lot of and I'm more so talking about the subscribers who watch Cynthia G and Cynthia G herself, and, not just Cynthia G, all these other content creators, Chrissy, etc., all these other women. I'm not about to name them all. Y'all all know, but the women who watch people like the Dusty G's and the Chrissys, this is the black male bashing content is a drug. See, they need this to cope with reality. Because you got to understand, what do drugs do for most people? Let's say, for example, heroin. That's why I got this needle on the screen. So let's say for people who take heroin, what do most people who take drugs is to disconnect them from reality. They need the drug to disconnect themselves from reality. They cannot cope with the reality they are in. The reality they are in, they cannot, they can't take it. It's too depressing for them. So in order for them to escape the current reality they are in, they take drugs so they can make a makeshift reality in which they can reside in it for as much time as that drug has its effect. However much of a dose they take, they can remain in their own reality for a much more reasonable time. They're able to stay in their makeshift reality for, the bigger the dose, they're able to stay out of the reality that they are trying to escape. So they take the drug to evade reality. Now, why is this important? Well, what do these women do? Like I said, this is a drug. The black male bashing content is a drug. So you got to understand. The women who watch Dusty G's and all these other women, it's very evident that this type of content is a drug, because what you'll see swirlers on Cynthia G's content. And see, this is the indicator to this. Because you have swirlers. Now, mind you, Dusty G, on her content, a lot of people have been saying, there's a shift, and now she talks about exploring your options. So, you'll have swirlers over there. But even before she was saying that, you had swirlers on her content. So you have to ask, why will swirlers even watch her content anyway? And even now, why would they watch her content? Because all she does is talk about black men. I mean, if you're swirling, and if you've hashtag divested, the divestors and the swirlers will watch a Dusty G, right? Or like a Christian. You have to question, why do y'all watch women who can constantly talk about black men? If you've divested. See, now you have to then come back and question this and be like, okay, why are they watching this? And, my conclusion, based upon the information that I have, is it's a drug. See, because they can't cope with reality. As much as these women talk about swirling and divesting, these other races of men are not checking for them like that. So see, what they have to do is they have to watch a Cynthia G, or, a Dusty G, or a Krusty Chrissy, and all these other women. Because it helps them to cope with reality when they bash black men. Because, see, they have to push narratives with black men. Like I said, with a Dusty G, it's very evident when she does her Who They Really Choose series. They have to believe that when black men date out, they're just getting bottom shelf and all this, so they can. It's a drug, so they can cope with the reality that ain't no brass checking for them at all. And obviously ain't no brass checking for them, because if they were, first, they wouldn't even be on a really, you would think though, right? You would think they wouldn't be on a Dusty G's content to begin with. Now, you have women who claim to have divested and swirl and are married to, Brad and all this, that are watching Dusty G. Now, a lot of those women, I believe, are lying. Now, for the women that are telling the truth, there's a mindset with them too. And I'm going to have to make another video on that, because you would think if they're so happy with their Brad, why are they concerned about a woman who constantly talks about black men? But we'll address that in another video. But as for this right now, though, this is a drug for these women. They can't cope with the reality that their lives are miserable. They're depressed. They're down terrible. And I like to use a football analogy. Because I like football. I'm gonna use a football analogy because I think it's just the best analogy to use. See, so these women, let's say you're in a football game, right? And we're in the fourth quarter. And there's 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Now, one team has 50 points and the other has 0. Now, everybody sees this game. The game is over. There's no doubt about this. The game's over. There's no way this other team is coming back from from being zipped. It's 50 to zip. They're not coming back in 2 minutes. It's impossible. Everybody in the stadium knows they're not coming back. The winning team knows they're not coming back. Hell, the losing team, they know themselves they're not coming back. But see, here's the thing with the losing team, though. In this analogy I'm gonna use, the losing team believe they're delusional in the sense that they deep down in their conscious, they know they ain't coming back. But they're trying to make themselves believe that they can come back from their deficit of being zipped 50 to 0. They're down. It's 2 minutes left in the quarter, and deep down they know they can't come back from this. It's over. The game is over. But they're trying to make themselves believe they've on the football field itself. They have created their own reality on the football field. They have compiled their own reality on the football field to believe that they can come back from this deficit. And the players on the team have taken drugs, psychotropic drugs, in order to escape the reality that they are down terrible in this football game. It's 50 to 0, 50-0. They ain't coming back. And they're trying to cope with this reality. So they've taken drugs in order to cope with this reality. And they're trying to make their own makeshift reality in order to make themselves believe that they can come back from this deficit. Now, everybody in the stadium knows they can't come back. The winning team knows they're not coming back. And even the losing team, although they're taking drugs to try to take away from this reality that they don't want to be in. Although they're taking these drugs to escape this reality of their loss, at the end of the day, they know deep down in their conscious they're down terrible, and they're not coming back, and they know this, but they have to go through any avenue via drugs because they can't cope with the reality. They're seeing that, okay, we're down, but they can't cope with this, so they have to take these drugs to cope with this. And that's how I look with these black women who watch the Dusty G's and the Krusty Chrissies and whatnot, and all these other these content creators that these women watch, who constantly bash black men. These YouTubers, these content creators, their content is like drugs to these women who are subscribed to them, because they know Brad ain't checking for. I'm specifically talking to the ones who talk about divesting and swirling. They know Brad not checking for them like that. They know they down terrible, and they know they out of the game. They're not coming back from this. But in order to cope with the reality that they're down terrible, and deep down they know Braz ain't checking for them like that. As much as they try to make this be reality, they know it's not. So they watch the Dusty G's who bash black men, because the bashing of black men is their drug. See, they have to show scenarios in which the black man is, down and he's dusty, and they're showing dusty black men, and they're showing all the dysfunction of the black man in order to cope with the reality that they're down terrible, they're depressed, they're miserable. When they go to sleep at night, there's no Brad on that other side. Now they think there's a Brad, because see, they're delusional. It's not even that on top of the drug of them trying to make their own reality, they are now hallucinating. So on the other side of their bed, they're seeing a Brad, but it's not really there. They're messed up. They're corrupt. Their brains, they're messed up on these drugs, these psychotropics. They're seeing a Brad. They reach over to touch it, and it's not there because it's a drug. They're hallucinating. This is how delusional these broads are. So the Divest crew and all these other broads watch these certain women who bash black men because it is a drug. Because deep down they know Brad ain't checking for them like that. And that's why I want y'all to know, I may have not talked about this in my last video, but y'all know of this like viral Snapchat, this so-called viral Snapchat thing that, happened, where they was like showing like, oh, these so-called, they had white women talking about black men in this Snapchat, chat room, and talking about, oh, they don't like black men and whoop-de-whoop. And that Snapchat, I believe, is fake. Now, I'm not even about to get into all that why it's fake in this video. I don't even know if I'll make another video, but if you just read those comments, man, you just see it's very disingenuous. It seems something is off with that. And how all these black women flock to that Snapchat feed. And we're like, yeah, Becky don't like you. Yeah. And you have to question, why do y'all care if Becky ain't really liking black men? Why would y'all even care? But see, they have to, like I said, this is about them because they know Brad ain't checking for them like that. So they have to flip it on to black men. Yeah, Becky ain't checking. Becky ain't checking for you like that, man. Becky ain't checking for you. Becky ain't like y'all, man. Becky said about y'all in this Snapchat shit, in this Snapchat feed, man. See, they have to do this because they know they're down terrible. It's 50-0 in the game. They're trying every way to escape the reality of their loss. Everybody in the stadium knows it's over. Everybody on the other team knows it's over. They know it's over, but they don't want to accept it. They are delusional. So they have to use these channels as drugs. They have to use it as their crackpot because they're not able to cope with the reality that ain't nobody checking for them like that. Their lives are down terrible. They're miserable. They're depressed. And instead of addressing the issue in their lives, seeking the help they need, legitimate help, and not just women pandering to them or women who are bashing black men to try to alleviate their sorry lives, they're gonna continue on a dysfunction. Like I said, these bras they're messed up. These niggas are dumb, and that's just the bottom line. So when LAR said, if there was no Dusties, they wouldn't have content, I have to disagree with them on that. They would have content. they would just manufacture more things to bash black men on, because this is a drug for them to escape their miserable lives. But yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say in this video, man. I just had to address that, And yeah, I'm about to go watch the rest of that video low key. But yeah, that stuck out to me, and I was like, let me stop this. Let me make this video, because I have to be like, nah, they would indeed have content. They would indeed. They would just find some more stuff to bash black men on. No matter what, they're gonna find a way to bash black men, because this is about the hatred of the black male image. But yeah, I'm out, man.